Could you kill your partner? Sadly, although it sounds strange, violent crimes committed by intimate partners are more common than you think. A study conducted by the UN in 2017 revealed that 58% of women who are murdered are killed by an intimate partner. Despite the phrase "the husband did it" becoming a cliché in true crime, in most cases it is still difficult trying to find the true answer behind a violent crime. This was the case when suburban wife and mother Kat West was found dead of blunt force trauma on January 14, 2018. Was her husband truly responsible for her death, or were the police so sure that he was the victim that they refused to consider the chances of the case being far darker? Welcome to Yarrow Crime. Today, we'll be taking a look at the murder of Kat West. Before we continue, make sure you like the video and subscribe to Yarrow Crime, as it really helps out the channel. Thank you. Now, even though a guilty verdict has been reached on this case, the evidence that led to the verdict is very circumstantial. So today, listen carefully to the evidence and let us know the conclusions you came to. Now come along as we delve into the true crime story of Kitty Kat West. Kat was born on February 15, 1975, to her mother Nancy and her father John, and she was an only child. Kathleen was raised in Florida and loved the outdoors. Growing up, Kathleen was described as sporty and confident, and although she loved being outdoors, she also really loved playing with her dolls. After Kathleen graduated from Bloomingdale High School, she began to model on the side, and this was when she became fascinated with Marilyn Monroe. Kathleen would often try to impersonate Monroe's style, and this helped her gain popularity as Kathleen was a so-called jaw-dropping beauty. But despite her beauty and carefree personality, Kat still had some personal problems she had to surmount. Sadly, she suffered from alcoholism, and this was a recurrent problem that she struggled with. She also suffered from bipolar disorder, which is a mental health condition that causes affected individuals to usually experience depressive and manic phases that can last for several weeks, with periods of relative formality in between. However, by the time she had gotten into her late 20s, Kat had succeeded in getting her condition into a well-controlled, medicated, and manageable state. Kat met William Jeff West in 2004. Jeff was generally described as quiet, calm, cool, and collected, which seemed like a contrast to Kat's carefree and outgoing personality. Jeff joined the Army in 1992 as a military police officer before being promoted to a detailed Army recruiter and a recruiting center commander. While in his military job, Jeff also attended Columbia Southern University from 2010 through to 2019, where he got a bachelor's degree in business administration, a master's degree in criminal justice administration, and a master's degree in crisis emergency and disaster management. After leaving the military, Jeff became a security officer and a campus corporal. He already had 2 children from a previous relationship, but that connection had ended. The news that Jeff and Kat were in a relationship came as a surprise to their friends, as they both had very different personalities. The biggest surprise came when, after only 4 months of dating, Jeff and Kat suddenly got married in Las Vegas. The couple welcomed their first and only child in 2005, about 1 year into their marriage. Their daughter, named Lola, was brought into a happy and loving household, as both parents were in love with their daughter and with each other. Fast forward to 2015, when a custom-designed home for the family was being built. The West's new home was a beautifully built 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom home with enough space for the whole family. The neighbors said the West family seemed content, but they were very quiet and often kept to themselves. Now let's return to Kathleen. In addition to being a suburban wife and mother, Kathleen was also a model on the adult content platform OnlyFans. Posting under the name Kitty Kat West, Kat focused her content on inspiration from Marilyn Monroe, and her content would often include suggestive lingerie photos. As Kitty Kat West, she also posted content on Twitter and Instagram, which at the time had over 51,000 followers. However, the content she posted online did not cause any discord between her and her husband, as Jeff was happy to help her in the business and would often take pictures for her subscribers. 12th January 2018 was date night for the West couple. After handing their daughter to her grandparents for the weekend, Jeff and Kat began to visit several spots in town. After visiting several locations and having some drinks, they decided to make their way back home. On the drive back, they made a stop at an R wine and liquor store. Surveillance footage shows the couple entering the store with Jeff buying a bottle of Jameson whiskey, while Kat selects a bottle of Lucid absinthe for herself. The couple appeared happy and playful, with the camera capturing a moment when Jeff gave his wife a soft slap on the butt. Everything looked okay, and the cashier even thought that they made a great couple. The couple continued drinking when they got home. As the night went on, Jeff posted this image to Instagram. And while here, he took several photos of Kat for her OnlyFans account. However, what they had no way of knowing was that their happy night would soon change for the worse. On January 13th, 2018, at about 5 a.m., the body of a middle-aged woman was noticed on the street close to the West household by a neighbor on her way to work. Shocked and panicked by the sight, she rushed back home to get her father. Together, they returned moments later, and after her father performed some checks, he discovered that the woman was no longer breathing. The body said belonged to Kathleen West. Her body was discovered across the street from her home. According to investigators, she was only wearing a sports bra. She had bled heavily from her head, and a mobile phone and a bottle of absinthe were found next to her body. The police quickly secured the crime scene and the ensuing commotion caused by the gruesome crime, and the police investigation left the neighbors in shock. What was truly strange at this point was the fact that Jeff West was missing through all of this. Jeff was still in bed and apparently had no idea of what was going on just outside his door. He noticed his wife was missing when he woke up and began to look for her around the house. It was at this moment that police officers came knocking, to which Jeff opened the door. What was strange, though, was that Jeff acted very strangely in front of the officers, and when he was informed that his wife was found dead outside, he appeared too calm. According to Jeff, he and Kat had a pleasant night up until the moment after their photo shoot. He said they got into an argument after he told Kat that she was spending too much time on her phone and wasn't being present with him in the moment. He grabbed the phone out of her hand and threw it out the front door into the garden, after which he made his way upstairs and went straight to bed. Jeff assumed that Kat must have gone outside to retrieve her phone, stating that he went to bed and was woken up the next morning by the noise of the police cars and a barking dog. This is, however, believed to be a lie, as the neighbor who discovered Kat's body stated that she had seen him pacing back and forth inside his home while she was on the phone to 911. An autopsy was conducted, which revealed that Kat's blood alcohol level at the time of her death was 0.23%, which is 3 times over the legal limit. The cause of death was ruled to be a result of blunt force trauma to the head. The forensic pathologist that performed the autopsy highlighted that the length of Kat's wound was consistent with the length of the liquor bottle found by her body. Police Sergeant Melhoff also noticed that the bottle of liquor and the mobile phone at the crime scene were placed in an unusual position that would be inconsistent with the theory that Kat fell. Jeff's thumb and ring fingerprints were also found in a downward orientation on the bottle of absinthe, which meant that Jeff had held the bottle by the neck. It is possible, however, that these fingerprints got on the bottle when Jeff was pulling the bottle out of the shopping bag. Police also found 2 pools of blood. One was on the West's front lawn, and the other was across the street where Kat was found. Details from the health trackers on both Kat's and Jeff's phones show that he had been active around the time that all activity on Kat's phone ceased. Details from the home security system also showed that the door had been opened at around 1 p.m. And since there was no one else on the property, investigators believed it was Jeff. The investigators also considered the possibility that Kat had been killed by a stalker, probably from her OnlyFans page, but they had no information to suggest any potential suspects. Jeff was arrested on February 22, 2018. While in jail, he was offered a plea deal, that would have seen him released immediately for his time already served if he would admit that he killed his wife. Jeff rejected the plea deal and insisted that he did not kill his wife. Jeff's trial began in November 2020. The prosecution argued to prove Jeff's guilt by pointing out his fingerprints on the bottle, the 2 pools of blood, the device movements, the details from their security system, the autopsy reports, and the fact that a shirt from a clothing hamper and a towel in the master bedroom contained traces of Kat's blood. The defense argued that Kat's death must have been accidental, and they made no effort to include or suspect a third party. Both Jeff and Kat's parents defended Jeff, with Kat's parents describing him as a loving and devoted husband who cared a lot for Kat. After 5 hours of deliberation, the jury found William Jeffrey West guilty of the manslaughter of his wife. Jeff showed no reaction as the verdict was read, as he was in what can only be described as utter shock. The judge sentenced Jeff to 16 years in prison, minus 3 years already spent behind bars. If nothing changes about the case, then Jeff will be released in February 2034, and his appeal on the verdict has been denied by the judge. Our thoughts and prayers go out to everyone affected by the death of Kathleen West, and we hope that they eventually find solace. What do you think about the murder of Kitty Cat West? Let us know in the comments, and as always, do not forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.